wait. Actually, no, I don't see the link. Where is the link for the Fantasy Plus?
The chat. Hang on.
What? All right, cool.
That works or
Thank
not?
you.
Hang on.
I'm just gonna like.
Huh.
I've got it.
Did it actually work?
Actually, I don't hear anything. It just says you are
You
not
have to.
experiencing.
Yeah, you have to click the little unmute button next to the volume bar.
Yeah, I did. Oh, it's working now. We're good.
Crap! I should probably get it to fantasy.
I'm pinning this just so you know. Just
Yeah,
for next time.
Honestly, we should have done that because it makes things a lot easier.
Well, what
for all of us.
happened though was that we did pin it, and then the link you pinned no longer worked.
Yeah.
Oh,
part of a
well,
new one.
Then you should probably unpin the original one here.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
You were the one who gave her that.
Years ago at this point. It's been almost 5 years?
Yeah.
Veteran. Sounds nice. Very lovely.
Great. Also, I just checked. It'll be 6 years in February.
Oh,
Ugh.
that's a long time.
Mm-hmm. Been stuck with me for a while, man. All right. Launch game.
Emma just said she can't join. She got diverted on her flight, I guess.
That's chill. There's been a lot of weird weather. Chris is supposed to come home on Thursday, but we're supposed to get like really bad thunderstorms, and I was like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to land. I'm kind of hoping he is because we're supposed to go to New York on Friday with my family and go out on the boat. So, don't know yet.
Indeed. Where do we begin?
It was a lot that happened.
Yeah.
Oh.
We started out in the watchtower, and we were dealing with the shadow things. I went upstairs, and we found, what was it, like an old, like a telescope, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and we found some journal entries and stuff like that, which I didn't read most of them. Those were given to Liliana.
Yep.
And after that, I don't remember much. It was a lot that happened.
Yeah, the ghost was like...
the ghost possessed Marcira, I think was the sister's name.
I didn't think that was the ghost that like, because it wasn't the ghost that pointed at the desk. I don't think. I think this was something else.
Well, yeah, something possessed Marcira. Something else possessed Marcira. She went a little crazy, and then she almost died before we basically all banded together to save Marcira. And now we're just kind of all going back to... Well, obviously we're all kind of going separately, and then we're just going to end up planning on meeting Redbeard at some point. Or I think probably tonight.
We have
Or
a
Redbrand.
fancy new magical item where we can look through to see shadows on people.
Mm-hmm.
Glass, the mineral glass, that's right.
Mirror glass.
Turn it into a monocle.
I think we figured out it was the Harbinger.
I
think we're all just assuming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when we looked at her through the shard, Liliana's theory that she's not balanced and that the dark is overcoming the light and that she needs more of the other was kind of proven because she was like completely bathed in shadow with no light, whereas the other people have like light and dark kind of mixed.
Yeah.
I think it was, first we thought it was the light that was too much.
Well, we weren't sure. Mm-hmm.
Sticking the luminous shard on her again, which seemed to resolve the issue.
For now, at least. We'd probably need more if we want to actually make it
Save.
a permanent
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
We got work to do on that front.
If I remember correctly, whoever was possessing her had taken something from her and just left. Then we were able to use the shard to just get her back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And now we'll have another mystery on our hands, whatever, for Redbrand as well. Although I'm pretty sure we said we were going to be like going off into groups for that. Like one group.
Well, because we were talking about that Redbrand might notice Marcira and Ishal. No, not no. Oh my God,
Yeah,
what's her name?
I'm pretty.
Talking about Shirali.
Shirley. Wow, you forgot Emma's character. Wow.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Oh, please don't listen to this recording.
But because he'd probably recognize Marcira, and then just by proxy, because she looks so much like Marcira, Shirali. So they were gonna stay behind.
I
And
was going to
then
stay with them.
I offered to also stay behind just purely because it would probably be safer to have like someone who's quote unquote the muscle of the group to help like defend Marcira and Shirali together.
I need the two people without muscle on our own. Okay, I get it.
Well, no, there's no Geld. You have him.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So, Geld said he was gonna stay behind, which is why I was like, "Oh, no muscle for us."
Okay. No, I'll go with you guys in that case.
It's like both muscle is gonna be.
Yeah,
Maybe we
my
should just stick
apologies.
together.
I thought Geld was not coming. So,
No, 'cause I definitely remember saying I was staying with them first.
all right, yeah, I'll go with you guys then.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe
Yep.
so.
He's like, we're on date. And I would just like to remind you that I am still disguised as a human.
Okay.
I feel like the tavern probably the best bet. I think it was mm,
You mean inconspicuous?
No, they'll be sticking out like a sore thumb there. That's what he's saying.
Okay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure like aren't me, Liliana, and well, yeah, and Shirali going to be going to Red Brand?
No, Charlie was staying with her sister.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, but like
It is going to be Sylvan, you, and I going to see Red Brand. Shirali, Mercira, and Geld were going to stay behind.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm guessing just well, actually, would there even be a place to stay beyond just the tavern?
There was an inn too, I thought.
Can you bring us to the city map again?
Yeah, I think that'll help.
No problem. Take your time. You're good.
I think part of the planning is requiring the map.
Well, no, he's probably just not at his computer right now. It's chill.
Yeah, I get it, and I'm sorry.
For some reason, I'm remembering that I think we all had to travel somewhere different now. Like, that's just now just popping in my head. That no, it was something about we couldn't meet him out of town anymore. We had to travel to him now.
Yeah, and that's kind of why we're separating. But I think the main plan is just find a different place to stay that isn't the tavern.
No, I meant traveling out of town. Long
yeah, that's-
distance.
Oh. Oh. Mm-hmm.
I want to fight. No, I'm kidding. I kind of want to look at the bear through that glass. No, you're good. Take your time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like looking at my spells to see if there's anything I want to do before we head out, but I think I'm good because I already have mage armor and disguise self on.
Yeah, those are probably the safest bets.
And I have mirror image when the shit goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Prom. No, you're good. I kind of figured when I heard you like holding your breath for a second. I'm like, he's not by his computer. Yeah, he's back.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Ooh, you sound so good now.
I know. Yeah, it's my lovely stream mic. Okay, so let me bring you to the map. City maps. Right on over to Stormreach. Boom. Okay, so Wind's Whale, that's where you've been staying. You remember seeing a couple small shack-like places to stay. They offer like rooms for rent. There's a couple signs that you've seen near the exit to town, right around here. So just north of the bazaar. Let's get some ambiance as we get moving outside. First off, we got the ocean.
Pretty.
Love that sound.
Okay. And when you walk out of Everwatch after discussing a little bit of your next plan, your next course of action, there's nobody in sight, at least close by in this direction. But just beyond, up near the Rust and Rend, there's like a couple people passing by this alleyway. There's, you know that it should be about 11 o'clock at night, but it's not, obviously. The sun is still being covered by the moon. Let's see here. So we will say that you split at this point. Yes?
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. If you all can arrange your tokens where you want them to be, just put your tokens to the exit at the north or the south with whoever's going out. I don't have a token for Tamron, so just kind of pretend that he is. We'll say he's just right here. He's gonna be yeller. Some of the yellow.
Oh, the yellow. Don't get cheap on me.
Let me put myself. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's first simulate those of you who are going to find a room. I wish I had
Somewhere
crowd
smaller might
voices.
be nice.
Somewhere smaller, yeah, for sure.
Just because I feel like the lady at the inn is kind of getting nosy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So walking north and towards the bazaar, there's not a ton of people. Again, you see a few that move quickly out of eyesight. They don't want... you're not sure if they're avoiding you or if they're just simply paranoid and trying to get to wherever they're going quickly.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, you press forward, and you remember seeing the sign outside on one of these kind of tall and narrow buildings that runs along the left side of this alley. And it opens up a little bit as you continue walking forward. The alley widens, that is, and there's a number of people. There's actually some beggars on the right, leaning against a partial stone wall that connects to a dried up well. You can see that the bucket is raised all the way up, and the top is boarded over. And one of them is awake while the other is asleep, sound asleep. And the one who does notice you approach, he sees that you're potentially wealthy, or at least an adventurer that might have some coin, and he just raises a cup. You see that he's got this kind of sun-tanned face. It's like really dark. He appears to be a half-elf, and he's got this long brown hair that also is kind of at shoulder length, and there's a lot of patches of hair on his face. Parts of it are like cut, and like he's got a bruise over his right eye, and it looks like he's kind of been through hell recently. And he just holds up a cup to see if you'll maybe give him,
Yeah, I'll
give him
toss
some
him a
bombs.
silver.
Cheapskate. I'm just kidding.
Hey, silver's still a lot.
Oh my god.
No, I know. You could have set this guy up for life with 1 gold.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, make it a gold instead.
You gonna do a gold? Okay. You know what? I like that.
This I buy my own hotel.
We're just gonna me and the gang up at the north just come back and he's running the town.
So yeah, I know. He spends that 1 gold to buy like some thugs, and they just go beat the shit out of the mayor and take over. Okay, so you give him you toss a gold coin, and he takes it, and he looks kind of confused, and he says, "That's too much, sir. You're too kind."
Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, just keep it. It can come in use to you.
Thank you. He bites it to make sure it's real. Puts it in his cup. And I don't know. There's something about him that leaves you feeling better about yourself. He gives you a soft stare as you're walking towards the building with their for rent sign outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, he just kind of smiles a little bit and kind of probably feels good after that. And you step up the steps with Shirali in tow and Marcira, and they're both covering their faces pretty tightly with some robes and cloaks. And you step on inside, or actually, it's locked, so you jiggle the handle. It's not opening.
No, sorry. I'll knock.
All right. After a few moments, you hear some footsteps behind the door, and it opens with a creak, just a little bit, and you see a somewhat tall female. You think she's a half-orc? At least judging by her semi-appearance through the slit in the door.
Mm-hmm.
She's tall, little broad, her face is big, and her skin color is definitely on the sort of dull green side. And she says, "Yes?"
You have room for rent?
You see just one eye looking you up and down through the doorway. "You got coin?"
Mm-hmm.
"You armed?"
Yes, but we don't go out looking for any fights at all.
She opens the door fully. And she kind of steps to the side. You see that she's really tall, probably like 6'4". And she's got these broad shoulders. She's wearing a typical maiden outfit, just kind of somewhat loose bottom portion, kind of like a dress. And then the top is just a semi-long sleeved, fluffy, I guess it's a frock. Is that what it's called?
I think.
Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, she ushers you inside. "Come in quickly."
I go in quickly.
And Marcira and Shirali hustle in after you, and she closes the door pretty quick. And you see that she locks it and then deadbolts it pretty quickly. And she turns to you, and she says, "You're not one of them plain touched, are you?"
I am not.
She looks you up and down. She says, "I seen you. Haven't seen these two yet." She walks up to Shirali. Shirali probably, I feel like she would maybe cower a little bit.
Mm.
And she'll sniff Shirali.
Sure.
You.
Get really close to her.
Please.
Just You're all
Probably,
right.
she'll probably say something snappy about that, I bet.
Yeah, I feel like Charlie would maybe say, excuse me, can you take a few steps back, please? And this woman who has yet to identify herself, she says, She goes over to Marcira, sniffs really hard, takes a few sniffs. Okay. So you want to rent a room?
Yes. How much?
How long do you plan on staying?
That character, how long did they go be gone for?
Well, well, first off, Tamarin is fairly certain that they'll be able to meet with Red Brand within probably a few hours, depending on where he actually is. So those of you who are going with Tamarin, you're probably going to be following his lead. But if you did not go out and seek Red Brand with Tamarin, it would probably be a much longer journey.
Yeah, okay. Best.
Be like a day.
Like a day or two, and say we may end up leaving early. Need be.
So
Yeah.
just a day then? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you seem like decent enough folk, so how's about 3 gold total?
Geld nods and takes out 3 gold. Thank you.
Everything's going to be taken care of by me. I will cook, I'll clean, I'll make sure that your stay is as comfortable as possible, but there will be no funny business. Am I clear?
Understood. Yeah, I say at this point, Geld will probably take off his helmet.
You
Over his
see,
orc self.
now that all of you are in there with your passive perceptions, you will see that there is a dual set of war axes that are hanging over her mantle with the roaring fire below. They're kind of glinting a little bit in the dark, catching the light a touch. And she sees you looking at them and she says, I could always smell an adventurer from a mile away. Used to be one myself, retired long ago.
No, by the way they look like you've been a pretty tough one.
Anyways, she says, follow me. There's a room just upstairs that all of you can use. And she kind of takes you to a side door. The door opens. There's a little bit of a storage area, but then there's a set of stairs that connects to it. It goes up. And she takes you on up. Narrow hallway at the top. Very narrow. No windows. So she has a torchlight. Or not a torchlight. Candlelight that she has hanging on the walls periodically that are just kind of casting very low but eerie light along the hallway. And she rounds the corner and takes you to this sort of back hall area with 2 doors. One just as you turn the corner, and then one at the far end of the hall. And she takes you to that one, unlocks the door with a key that she has in her pocket. She puts it away. Opens the door, steps aside. Your quarters for as long as you stay.
I think Geld does a little bow and says, thank you.
Remember, as you walk in, and you notice it's a fairly quaint, but actually kind of large-sized room. You get that there's probably maybe 15, 20 feet across, and then maybe about 30 feet long. So it runs the length of the building that you're in. There's a window at the far end of the room that looks out over the small area below where you had seen the beggar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not much, but there's a couple beds. And there's a rug, there's a small vanity, there's a small dresser. There is no closet or any sort of privacy area. This is not really an upscale place that you're staying at here. It's pretty basic.
So pretty nice.
Yeah.
Better than no roof at all.
You're
Yep.
you're feeling that maybe you overpaid a little bit, but then again, this is a fairly private, not so well-known place. So, anyways, you step on inside. She says, "I will be downstairs if you need me. Just come calling if there's anything you need."
Thank you, and thank you, and may I get your name?
Gorka.
And I am Geld.
And she says, "No use giving me your name. They never come back." And she just closes the door.
Oh yeah, did she react at all when I take off my helmet and reveal my orc head?
No, not in any substantial way. If anything, she's just like, "Oh, okay.
Got it.
Sorry. I mean, I know you're half orc and everything, but you know,
Oh no, he's full orc.
full orc. Okay,
Yeah, orc.
orcish. All right. Then Shirali is gonna say, she really needs to learn how to maybe develop a little bit of sense of someone's personal space. And then I think Marcier will probably just go, "Shirali, you really need to keep your thoughts to yourself."
That is exactly what would happen, probably.
Hmm.
Though I probably imagine she will be saying it in front of her.
Yeah, maybe. But
There would be a
regardless,
full-on argument.
we will say that with that, you'll stay there. Let's change up a little bit of... let's get some windy sounds. You, Ishal, Sylvand, and Liliana, as well as Tamron, he's leading the pack. You've just left Stormreach, and you've gone out into the dark forested area beyond. I need to get rid of the crowd voices. There we go. So, you remember last time that you came out this way, there was that one pocket of long dark that was kind of close by, but not like so close that anyone who's traveling along the road would want to go near. But it's close enough just off the path where it's very pervading. And for you, especially, all of you, it's just another message that is shadowed and obscured. You know, one of those messages that is being delivered and you don't even know it. And as you walk past it, the path winds down, slopes a little bit, and it ends up leveling out as the forest starts to thin and break. Eventually the sky becomes a lot clearer through the canopy, and you remember this is about the part where you all had encountered that group that was waiting to ambush people upon the road. And you go completely past that point. And Tamron is looking still relatively uneasy, a little anxious. He keeps looking around him and over his shoulder with a worried look on his face, as if kind of expecting something terrible to happen, but it just isn't happening. Anyways, he leads you down further. There's a little bit of a narrowing in the roadway that leads through a patch of trees, and then eventually you end up... let me see if I can just bring everyone out here, only because I think everyone should see. So we're going to say that you break through the tree line right about there. And it opens up wide into somewhat grassy plains. It's more like dead grass, and the grass that is still alive is just tall, and it has like reeds at the end, like they've gone to seed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And as soon as you break through the trees and get out here, you immediately notice a temperature change. It kind of heightens pretty substantially in temperature. It goes from being probably a comfortable 60, 70 degrees to about more like 85, 90.
Ew. Wow, that temperature shifted quick.
And a very strong wind is blowing as you get out into the plains area. Let me get a powerful wind here. Sound. Okay.
Sylvanda's just gonna like take her like part of her cloak and cover her face just to kind of keep everything out of her eyes.
There is a good amount of debris that's getting kicked up. Dust and grass particles and bits of rock and grain. We will say that your vision from here on out is going to be lightly obscured.
Oh, no.
I am sorry.
Even if somebody has dark vision?
Well, lightly obscured means anything inside this, even if you have dark
Okay.
vision. Yeah, it's like an area effect.
Lame.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, otherwise it'd be cheating for all of us.
Tamron shields his face too, and he's looking around, and he says, "There's a cluster of rocks just up ahead at the junction. We need to make it there. That's usually the meeting spot." And he starts to trudge forward into the windiness.
We follow.
Yep. Say that Sylvan is gonna follow closely.
Okay. He also further explains that it's about a quarter mile ahead. Actually, more like, sorry, half mile. I gotta calculate that for a second. Actually, I think I have the ruler. Okay, yeah, I don't have it. I'll have to fix that at some point.
I was like, I feel like you usually do, but...
It
Yeah.
was just working for us. I saw a little arrow.
No,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
say
like, the
it's not-
distance. It's not to scale.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I gotta fix that at some point. But it's gonna be about a half a mile from the edge of the tree line that you just came out of to get to the junction where there's two separate ways to go. So traveling through, it's not difficult terrain. It's just gonna be grassland. I need to roll something here on the side. This should be fun. First roll for me of the game. But question is, I'm going to let you guys pick it. Should I go with black or white?
Black.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, go black.
Black, like my
With the
men.
shadows that we are facing.
Yeah.
You just say black like my men.
Yeah.
What?
I'm surprised no one caught that.
Oh, no, I heard that. I was waiting
Because
for
I was
them
listening to what
realize it.
everybody said, and I'm like, what?
I didn't hear that. Who said that?
That was
Me.
Wraith.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that good old airplane joke never fails.
It's like, take my coffee like I take my women. It's like you pay $100 for a cup of coffee. Okay, so luckily you got. Well, I rolled. Well, I'm not going to tell you what I rolled, but your trip through the plains is uneventful. You're not. If you want, go ahead and roll me just like a nature check. If anybody has it trained.
Well, I don't have it trained.
Do you mean proficient in?
Proficient, yes, sorry. Trained is a 3.5.
Yeah, I have nature. I'll roll it. Ooh,
So, yeah.
it's not great.
Okay. Well, generally, Ashal, you would probably instinctually not like to be in a storm like this for very long, and that probably includes animals, so it makes sense that you probably wouldn't see anything.
Yeah, okay.
Animals, monsters, anything like that. There are some that thrive in this shit and use it to their advantage, but you don't know if those are here. Anyways, going forward, the path is pretty clear. It's well traveled. It's basically dirt and sand. There's a few stones and gravelly substances in the roadway itself. You know that it's wide enough that some carts can travel through, and that's 2 lanes. So to and fro. Yeah, pretty big.
I probably would want to walk on the side just because with the storm, people's vision isn't great, and I don't want to get mowed over by somebody's.
Who thinks
Somebody's
they just
buggy.
want? They're in Fast and Furious buggy edition.
Yeah. Basically, Amish buggy edition, yeah.
Here, watch out, Jedediah.
Somebody who lives in Amish country right now, they can go kind of fast.
I'm really
When
sorry
they get
to
to
anyone
it.
who might be Amish that might be listening.
Yeah.
No
tells me
one.
they wouldn't.
If they're listening, they'd be Mennonite, not Amish, technically.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true. Okay.
agreed.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know the difference because like they're everywhere where I'm at.
Yep.
Or like
Same where I grew up too,
Yeah, same.
living in the boonies.
Okay. So speaking of boonies, you eventually, and when I say eventually, it does take a little bit. It's hard to kind of navigate through this, but Tamarin seems to understand where he's going. In fact, he's traveling a little bit at a quicker pace than all of you. Like he's deliberately trying to get there as quick as possible because with each growing...
He's late and he's afraid.
Yeah, he's like the fucking the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. He's like, I'm late.
I mean, to be fair, we did cause him to be late.
Technically, we didn't. It was the ghost.
If it was a ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever the hell
The-
it was.
the quote
other evil
unquote
thing.
ghost.
Actually, it was 2 things.
Okay. Well, you're managing to keep pace with him, and finally you just hear him through the breeze. He just says, "There it is, just up ahead." And sure enough, you look to find a very interesting, almost spire-like rock outcropping that's composed of 3 large obelisk-like stones. They're kind of triangular in shape. They're rough. They're not perfect like some like laser cut them, but they are hewn to a point where it would be considered semi-perfection in the stonesmithing world. And they're all fairly close together, within maybe 5 or 10 feet of each other. The base, I mean, of each. And the bases of each stone are wide, and then as you go further up, it just narrows to a point on all three. So I guess, I hope I'm describing this well enough, but
Sounds like a heck of a place.
yeah, one moment you're just staring at this structure, this rock structure, and it seems particularly special just in the shape and how they're arranged. But then as you get closer, you notice that there are impressions on the rock themselves. They look to be some kind of language or runes.
thieves' cant?
Or
Yeah, I could check. I have thieves' cant.
That's what I was wondering.
Not thieves' cant. Sylvan, you know you would recognize thieves' cant in an instant if it was used. But can everyone present please give me your languages that you know?
I know
I have-
Draconic and Celestial.
Elvish, Common, Deep Speech, Infernal. Wait, how do you have all of them under your proficiencies? I have them like individual.
You can edit
I-
the proficiency just to have
Yeah.
it separated by commas. Commas.
Oh.
Honestly, I just prefer to have it individual so I can actually just look at it and simply see it.
Tristan, you want to know the funny thing?
Hmm.
You always ask that question.
I don't think I had. This is the first time I've even noticed that somebody could do that. I don't think I did that.
I remember like at least 3 different times.
I promise you, it was not me.
So it's, you notice, I will say, Ishal, because you understand Draconic,
Hell yeah.
that it is a very simple phrase and it's repeated throughout each stone. Like it's etched into each stone. And paraphrasing, it says, "The fire of the blood makes gods of us all."
Ishal will repeat that phrase and just go, "This is definitely worrisome."
You're not sure the context of what that means. Probably some kind of old saying, or it could be some kind of esoteric scripture that has some historical context. You don't know. But if you would like, you all can roll history now that Ishal tells you that.
Even if I'm not trained in it?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll it.
Not trained in it.
Damn.
What the hell?
Damn, guys.
Wow.
Damn.
I am not good at history.
You know what?
I rolled a 3.
Tamron is going to roll
I can
history.
barely remember yesterday.
Tamron is going to roll history. It's not good. Actually, well, it's all right. Okay.
You guys,
That's much better
Okay.
than ours. Thank you, Tamron.
Pity roll. Pity roll.
Yeah. So,
Call for clap.
so Tamron, who remarkably understands Draconic too.
Fucking nerd.
Ashal, I mean, you relay that information to the group, but Tamron says, yeah, back before the first eclipse, this area was overrun by dragons. There was an order who sought to tame them. Semi-successful they were, actually. Only their pact with man ended abruptly. And that's all he really knows about it.
Okay.
You know if there's any books on that? That seems very interesting.
I'm sure there's a dozen fucking books on this thing. But anyways, he proceeds towards like the center where they converge, like are all pointing at each other, the stones, that is, and says, he's supposed to be here. Unless I'm... Oh, gods, am I too late? Oh.
What time was he supposed to be here?
He says, I don't fucking know. The eclipse is fucking everything up. He starts
It
to
is
get a
indeed
little
hard time.
Yeah, he gets a little visibly upset, and he's just like, we're just gonna have to wait, see if he shows up.
Well, I mean, where would he be if he's not here? Does he have another place he hangs out?
Probably at the outpost to the southwest, but that's way longer than I wanted to travel.
Okay, well, we could wait here for a little while.
Can I, like, just peer around to see if maybe it seems like somebody's even been here recently?
Roll me an investigation.
No, I don't have that great of investigation.
I can help with that. I'm trained in investigation.
Oh, if you're trained,
Yeah, you would probably.
then I think you should do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd
It's
use
not
it,
very good, but
and
we'll
she'll
see.
help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
she'll
help you. Roll advantage.
Okay. Oh, there
Holy
you go.
shit!
Hell yeah!
No need to roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll love to see it.
So, funny enough, when you enter into the center of this outcropping, Sylvan, the first thing you notice is that the ground is disturbed in many locations. It looks to be possibly hooves from horses, multiple, and
Okay.
there are also several sets of footprints, and they're just all around. They're trailing to and fro. You notice that there's like deep impressions in some areas, signifying that maybe they had like stood there waiting for an extended period of time and then moved. It's possible that maybe they already came and went.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like somebody's already been here. And I'll look at Tamarin when I say that, and I'll, just point out all the different impressions in the ground and say, look, there's been tons of horses, people walking around. We clearly missed him.
He just yells, "Fuck!" He's gonna have my head. I was supposed to report back to him.
Well, if we come with you, we can at least vouch for you, saying that you kind of got held up for a very good reason.
It's not gonna be that easy. He's a man of us. He is a strict regiment. He doesn't deviate.
Surely he can deviate when plans don't go according to the way he wants them to.
I don't know how you can be so sure. You don't even know him.
You're right, I don't. But there's no harm in... Well, I guess there could be some harm in trying if the way he is how you describe him.
He just says, in no minced words, he says, "You fucking think?"
Think of it this way, though. If we don't go, then don't you believe that would be worse? Just not showing up than showing up late?
I agree.
He kind of looks down at the ground and a little sheepish. And he says, I guess. It's better than waiting for him to come find me, though I guess Stormreach would probably be the best place to hide. And he says, I can take you to him. The outpost is to the southwest, but don't you think we should speak with your comrades first.
Yes, I believe that's a good idea.
Mhm.
There's no telling what's going to happen once we get there. If he has come and gone, he's most likely upset, and I don't want to catch him on his bad side.
Well, hopefully, if he sees an entire party of adventurers following you, then he might be willing to hear you out.
Well, just to be clear, he's not going to give a fuck about how many people are with me because he's got a whole frickin' army at his disposal. So, as a forewarning to all of you, I hope you know what you're getting into.
Well, it's about as... It's probably for the best that it was the three of us.
The outpost is going to be the last stop before Champions Run. There's a causeway that separates this area with the one to the west. Talendor is south of here. If you look, and he shows you, there's a point in the junction where it kind of veers off to the south, and there's also a signpost that says Talendor. It says, honestly, it's been a long time since I've been down that way, but it's really a breathtaking city to behold. Have you been to the Sunfire Fields?
We have not, or I haven't. Never heard of it.
One of the most beautiful sights you'll ever see. Trust me.
I'm intrigued.
If you want, you may get a history check on that if you want.
I want to try because I read a lot.
Yes,
Hell
you do.
yeah, let's go.
Bad at history.
17.
15 for bad at history. Yay.
Everyone's getting lucky.
Oh,
Damn
no!
it. Oh, no.
At least it wasn't a mandatory check.
No, it was not. So,
Michelle's
Liliana...
just like, what is a town?
And so, what talent? What?
Fine.
What is that?
So Liliana and Sylvan, you both would
Sounds like
actually
an
be
player groups.
quite familiar with the kind of, not necessarily the place, the Sunfire Fields, but also the legend behind it. And we're gonna put a little piano. So the Sunfire Fields that border Talendor are known and called that because it is literally miles and miles and miles of a field that grows one singular flower. And it's called the Sunfire Orchids. And they're dense. They grow very close together. They are medicinal. They're beautiful. And every time that the sun hits them, it's like the field is on fire.
That sounds really nice.
It's also the only place in Elyssara that these exist.
It's strange that they would continue to grow even with the eclipse.
So there is a legend behind the area around Talendor. It is said that long ago, when celestial alignments were happening and the gods were rising and falling and changing and like consolidating and doing, just becoming different things throughout the ages, that apparently a god of fire and earth fell to Elyssara, and in its dying breath it essentially spilled its life force into the field. And there are still to this day organizations and people in Talendor that like pilgrimage from one side of the field to the other every year just to bask in the energy that it supposedly holds. There's even speculation that in proper circumstances, it is a place where resurrection can occur. And that is going to be my one little snippet of information to all of you as a DM, that in Elyssara, resurrection is not always possible.
Let's hope we don't die.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The balance of light and dark has become too disrupted. Resurrection requires both. It's about channeling the soul back into the body and balancing that interplay between the two forces. So if it's out of whack, things are going to be fucked. So anyways, he says, I do wish I could go visit it again, but I don't know if I'm going to be alive to see them again. So I think let's get back to Stormreach. There's much to do. And if he is waiting at the outpost, we can't wait too long. He does move often. His base is at Bloodfire Encampment, and that's even further to the west, past Champions Run. And there are many dangers in that strait and that causeway.
Right, well, we better get moving then.
All right. So you leave the rock formation, get back on the road, head back to the east, and you eventually hit the tree line. And along the way, the storm, or not even really a storm, it's more like a strong wind coupled with some debris flying around, is starting to subside a little bit. And once you get inside the tree line, Tamarin is going to strike up a bit of a conversation. And he's going to say, so about your friends there, I don't think they should stay in Stormreach for very long.
Why do you say that?
A lot of the people at the port, they've got beef with tieflings.
Can you explain why? Because we've noticed this and we're curious.
He sighs and then he says, well, it goes back several decades, actually. Back when the Long Dark was not quite so prevalent. And as he says that, he's like looking at a patch of Long Dark as you're passing by it. And he says, the tieflings were heavily connected with Emberfell, and there was a lot of politics going on. Many thought that the tieflings were... You know how it goes. Something bad happens, people point fingers, they look for others to blame.
So they blame the tieflings.
Yeah, at least most of them that were in Stormreach. Some of them had the good sense to just flee while they could. Some of them didn't make it. There was a lot of hatred. Still kind of is. I think it's just too well ingrained at this point.
You say politics. What happened exactly that would make people hate tieflings?
Well, you know, the first eclipse, there was a lot of hoopla and rumors going around who was responsible. There was talk of this shadow cult. Well, it turns out that we just so happened to have a couple citizens in Stormreach who, well, let's just say that they didn't like the way of life in Stormreach, and that they took it upon themselves to represent forces outside of their control, and the things got bad. Some people died. That's when the
Let me
mayor...
guess. These people were tieflings.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You should, as Sylvant. And he just says, yeah, I have no problem with any of them, but I can't vouch for any of the others in Stormreach. They're a strange lot. It's a mix of many different beliefs that are going to clash with yours or mine.
How long has it been since we've left Stormreach?
Probably about a couple hours.
My disguise self is gone.
Okay.
Shit.
Well,
I was gonna really see what happened. Let's see what he really feels about tieflings in a second here.
Well, I mean, once you get to the tree line, sure, your disguise falls, and he actually he's true to his word. He just says, you know, I deal with magical items all day long. I think I can spot a fake when I see one. And he winks at you.
Well, see,
well,
well, after a few issues we've had, it seemed like the smart decision to only go into town disguised.
You know, they call you you lot dumb, but I don't think you're dumb.
I actually had some of the best tutors growing up.
He says, tutors? What are you, royalty?
No?
Roll me a deception check. You do know in Elyssara that education doesn't necessarily come to everybody in the way that it did to you.
That was 16.
You know what? I'll roll this out in the open just so that everyone knows I'm not lying.
Come on. High charisma sorcerer.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
you love to see it.
Okay. It says, I don't know, did your folks have money or something? Tutors don't come cheap.
Oh, no. They, I'm trying to think of a lie, and I can't think of something, because even tutors
You could say you were like
nowadays-
adopted by a tutor or something.
Oh, yeah.
Even
Yeah.
tutors nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then just follow-up question. That's a strangely specific thing to have.
Well, no. No, I was adopted by a few, what are they called, teachers or like academic, like professors in this world? Like, if like,
Well,
like if I wanted to say the,
officially, when you are under the tutelage of these tutors, you would call them masters. But overall,
just
they're
wondering
simply just
if-
called... Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so I just wanted to like lie and say like, so if somebody went to a school, or is it all just tutoring? Like there's not official schools or colleges?
Yeah, it's just tutoring.
Okay, cool. Then I'll just say that my parents are, that I was adopted by a tutor then.
You would know personally and not divulge to Tamarin that your family employed some of the best scholars from Talendor to teach you everything that you know.
I was adopted by a scholar, and so I was always surrounded by incredibly intelligent people growing up.
Lucky. At least luckier than most of us. And that's when he says, actually, come to think of it, I don't think I know a single tiefling that has, or at least had, the education you did. Half
Probably
of it,
because
hell.
Probably because I was adopted by a human.
Luck of the draw. And he continues to lead everyone back through the forested area and back into Stormreach. Takes another, it's pretty quick. There's nothing stopping you from getting to the port. And let's just get everyone back onto that there map.
Is he wanting us to leave tonight, or is he wanting us to leave tomorrow?
Well, he didn't specify.
Sooner the better, I think it sounds like.
Yeah, because he said sooner the better, so that's why I'm wondering, are we just...
He knows that at this point it's probably he's going to get shit either way. It's just a matter of whether or not he actually shows up.
So we should basically Tokyo drift our way up to the outpost to meet him.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe Geld wasted his 3 gold.
Oh, no. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Although I will probably...
Go ahead, Michelle. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, I would probably still thank the man for the headband of intelligence. It will not be going to waste.
Yeah, he says, well, I wasn't using it, so I'm glad I can lend it out. I just hope that you're able to get its full use.
I will. And Ishal will just kind of do a little bow and just kind of wait for Sylvan and Liliana to just start looking for Geld and Shirali.
I'm going to put my hood up over me, so that it's not super duper noticeable that I am a tiefling as I'm going through the town.
Roll me a deception check.
16 again.
Okay.
Liliana, is that a hood, or are you just happy to see me? I couldn't help myself, sorry.
I would say with that deception check that you are able to properly do, it's almost like you're adjusting your hair constantly, if that makes sense. You're kind of picking at it at the back, making sure that the pokey points of your horns don't protrude enough for people oh my god, it's a fucking tiefling. So you are able to, let's just say, make your way through town inconspicuously.
Too bad I'm itching to fight one of these assholes.
I know. They're commoners. They don't really have they can't hold a candle to your combat prowess.
Well, I was just yeah, you're gonna punch them, one shot them dead.
Yeah, you'll just knock them unconscious, even just by looking at them, really.
Yeah, Liliana's a lover, not a fighter, man.
Sylvan will probably shank you if you need to be.
In the time that the others are gone outside of town, is there anything that Geld is doing that he might consider important?
Probably just watching over the other 2, checking his weapons, his armor, and whatnot, just in case.
Okay.
Putting his back to the door.
You're back to the door?
Yeah, like he's setting his back right on the door. So in case that thing moves, even a moment, he can react.
Okay, I like it. Luckily, throughout the whole time that the others are gone, you know that Gorka is... You hear her trudging around downstairs. She's not really doing anything suspicious. She's not climbing the stairs or like creeping outside your room like you did to Shirali and Marcira.
Reaper.
Yep, you creeper. So she's leaving you all alone. Inside the room, however, Marcira and Shirali are going at it. They're Marcira is... She says, you know, I really do need to have a talk with you about how you come across. Just having a simple conversation with people you meet. Just randomly. And Shirali at this point is just like, you can't, you just don't have the power over me that you did once before. I think you need to stay in your place.
Ooh. Girls are fighting.
And Marcira gives her the look. And she just says, when you grow up, I will give you the chance you seek. And Shirali just kind of shuts up at that. And they kind of turn away from each other, folding their arms across their chests. Kind of a little pouty, I guess. And anything Geld wants to do?
They just gonna let them have this moment to themselves. She almost died.
She did almost die.
Almost died and immediately nagging her sister.
That's
Yep.
right.
Never takes a break.
Yeah, he's thinking at this point, they deserve this moment.
So you know that the time of day is approximately midnight or so. Shirali is tired, and so is Marcira. Marcira ends up taking one of the beds and lays down, her body kind of turned towards the wall that runs parallel to the bed. And Shirali is laying on the floor with her hands behind her head, kind of elbows out, and just staring up at the ceiling. You know that Marcira is asleep, but Shirali just continues to stare at the ceiling, and she says, Gil?
Guy just says like a and just looks towards her.
What do you think about what Marcira said about the lake? She said she saw me drowning.
Yeah, from what I heard from you guys, she had her own experience from it.
No, but
Though I can't say much.
does that mean I'm gonna... And she just kind of like goes a little silent.
Just trust in the light and do all you can. Moving forward is the best you can do. Fight against it all.
And she says, you're right. I can't worry about this anymore. But of course I know that I'm going to.
He nods.
She looks over at Marcira, who's soundly asleep, actually snoring a tiny little bit. And she says, I'm afraid I don't have long with her anymore.
Just make the moment you have last as long as you can.
She stares back up at the ceiling. She says, How are you so accepting of death?
In my line of work with the wardens, I've seen many people die before me.
Yeah.
I did my best to mourn them and remember them for what they were. Enjoy the time I had with them.
But can't you do anything?
You can
You're-
only do your best.
You're a warden. You have to have some kind of control over what's going on.
I do not. Maybe the others higher rank might have more knowledge that you seek, but I am not at that rank.
You think there's a way that we can save her?
There's always a way. It just depends on how hard it is to find.
I've never met the council. You think they might have answers?
If it's to aid you all on your journey, I bet they will help. They most likely will do whatever they can to make sure the light comes back again. Kind of the reason why I'm here. To help you all achieve your goals.
She stares up at the ceiling a little bit more, and she now kind of like lifts her head a little bit and puts herself up on her elbows. And she says, I think I need to talk with the council. There has to be a way to save her. She looks over at Marcira, sound asleep. I don't know if what we've done is going to keep it at bay. You heard what he said. I know I did. He said that she would join him no matter what we do.
All I know for sure about whoever that is, you can't always trust the wards at full value. Sometimes they may just only say it just to get you.
He seemed so sure. His voice, it was determination.
The darkness is a tricky thing. It will do all it can to bring you down to its depths. Whether it's true or false.
And that's probably what you get.
I cannot say.
Yeah, that I feel like that would probably be the sense you're getting from this situation, is that Shirali is kind of spiraling, and maybe a little bit of the darkness is creeping into her psyche, like convincing her that certain paths are inevitable.
I feel like you also add, but you must hold strong. You must go determined with all your might. Never let yourself waver off the path. As that may be what what they truly want.
I want to believe you. I just... There's this nagging feeling in the back of my mind. There's, like... It's like an itch I can't scratch. Something bad is gonna happen. I can feel it.
Then you must do your best to prepare and fight back against it with all you can.
You see Marcira just kind of go, like, snort a little bit in her snoring. She shifts, and Shirali just says, let's just Let's put this to the side for now.
Yes. No rest now. I'll keep watch until the others come back.
She says thank you.
He nods.
She lays her head back down on the hard floor and folds her fingers together, lays them across her stomach, and eventually you hear her start to snore too, just as loudly as Marcira.
I knew they were both snorers.
That's a
Now,
joke. Probably
the real question is, are they a honk shoe or a honk me?
They're not both. Then one does chew, the other one does the other, and they switch.
Oh my god.
That'd be great. Well, at least we know when Emma gets back, we can ask the real questions.
Yep.
Real hard-hitting questions.
Oh my god. That's amazing. Like Beaker.
I love Beaker.
Okay. Then I would say, meanwhile, as night, quote unquote, is descending upon Stormreach Port, the others arrive back in town. And what is it y'all do? Head straight on to... I mean, you don't know where they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we didn't
Yeah,
really
I guess-
coordinate
Well, I don't want to say let's start searching, because like that, I feel like that would really kind of give us away. Well, shit.
We should have
me
asked them where they were going.
I'm going to...
I just walk around doing message until finally I find them.
Okay.
Either that or I was going to actually hold out my Manilith shard and kind of like use it as like a lantern maybe, so people could see me. Perhaps Geld could see me.
Is the target? So I'd probably do Geld. Here's the message and can reply in a whisper. It
Hang
can go
on.
through.
You
Yeah,
have to
point at me.
you have to point at him. You can't just like randomly point.
Damn! I was like,
What?
because it says
Yeah.
you can do it through like 3 feet of wood block.
I
Oh, wait, 3 feet.
understand, but you would have to know where that wood is located.
Damn!
You got sending.
God,
I don't have sending.
what are you?
Sending's like a third
It's
level.
just
I
like
think,
I can't
right?
just be like, hey, yeah, randomly point
well,
somewhere and you
I
get
mean,
them.
But no, that's what I was saying. I'd walk around pointing.
So
That's
you're,
somehow even funnier.
so you're just
Just
like,
like, where are
you!
you? Where are you?
yo.
You could be just screaming at anybody.
Oh man.
You guys would
That-
know
that
they
is
would look for
incredible.
somewhere secluded.
So, I mean, as in good conscience as a DM, I can't just be like,
No.
yeah, you randomly just point at
Damn.
Geld.
Damn. Fine. It's the only thing I
I'll
can
tell you
do,
what,
man. I
will let you roll a D100. And we'll see if you get it. Okay.
Hey,
Come on. Was a little luck.
You point at some random child like with blonde hair that's like standing next to like a side of a building that you're walking past, and he just goes ah! as you.
Just traumatized the kid. He's got PTSD now.
Yeah,
Maybe,
with the message.
maybe I shouldn't keep doing this.
That away before you hurt somebody.
I know you're like delivering all these random weird like one sentence messages into people's brains and like shit.
Liana just invented spam mail and she didn't even know it.
Oh man, yeah. Sorry, Liliana. There's.
Damn.
I can't.
No, it's fine.
I
It was
can't
a
help
long shot. It was the only thing that I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really have a whole lot I can do.
Still
I
funny as
mean,
fuck.
It It's funny, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I hold out my luminous shard, like, in kind of hopes, like, get some attention from him?
I mean, Geld is a. I don't know if I. Cause like, could we ask if anybody's seen a guy in full suit of armor? But like, I also don't want to bring attention to us either.
Well, you would
Yeah.
know personally that amidst the entire populace of Stormreach Port, including the militia that protects it, there's lightly armored, like we're talking studded leather, maybe medium-sized armor, but as far as like full plate armor, no, there's nobody like that besides Geld. Maybe some adventurers here and there, but no.
So that's what I'm thinking. We could just ask somebody.
That is up to you. I present you the option.
I'm the more shady person, so maybe you should try first.
It's like, hey, I'm seeing a guy with...
I also look like a tiefling, though.
You do.
I mean, my hood is up, but I think if you actually start looking, you're gonna know.
You're probably fairly certain that just the mere action of asking someone any bit of information, or at least requesting information from them as a tiefling, would probably result in, like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, so maybe Ishal could try?
I can. Although I kind of stick out a little bit.
Yeah, but like they're not racist to you, they're racist to tieflings.
Yeah, but also, like a chubby elf. I think that's kind of gonna stick out a little bit.
I mean, that's fine. We're just trying to find. We're gonna be leaving as soon as we find them. We just need to find them.
You know what? Fair enough. I'll try and roll that persuasion then.
Sorry.
Okay.
I would help you if I could, because I do have high persuasion, but I just think I would end up getting disadvantage because of.
That's
being
fair.
a tiefling.
I have a +1 in it, but like my rolls have not been hot. See.
Okay. The majority of people that you walk by, ask information from, they don't really stick around long enough to have any type of conversation with you. They are dismissive. Like, you'll say, hey, can I? And they're just like, they put their hand up and they walk away.
Cool. All right. Well. Oh, I tried.
I mean, I guess I could try it and then just roll disadvantage. If you'd be okay with that, Zim.
I'm
I'd
totally
probably get
okay with
better than
that.
a 4.
All right. Cool.
I'll get above a 4.
I hope you
most
get
definitely.
a nat 20 on that persuasion. It's
On both ends.
Oh.
14.
Okay,
Why
not
did I keep
terrible.
Actually, that's still not
16?
bad.
If this doesn't work, I can try something.
Not terrible. Not terrible at
Begging to Zim.
Well, the few that you've walked past already, they want nothing to do with you. But eventually, and out of pure luck, it seems, for Liliana, that you happen into the bazaar. And, of course, you know the bazaar is a kind of a melting pot of a bunch of different cultures. Everyone has different things. They are very reflective of the way their cultures operate. And I would say out of the entirety of Stormreach Port, the bazaar is probably where you'll have the most luck getting any kind of information. And it just so happens that you wander past a group of... Well, there is... Let me just roll something here. Just want to see. Ooh. Okay. So what appears to be a small grouping of soldiers that protect Stormreach. They are passing by you at this moment in the bazaar. And one of them happens to be a tiefling. But you understand that, judging from the armor that he's wearing, as well as the patches on said armor, as well as the adornments as far as weapons goes, on this guy, there is a significant indication that this guy is pretty important. Now, that does not mean that because he is tiefling, he's important. It simply means that maybe the mayor is trying to manipulate the public eye into thinking that he's all well and good with tieflings.
I'm not racist. One of my good high friend guard is a tiefling.
My best friend is black.
So-
I mean, what?
Yeah, that's so real.
So, you stop them in their tracks, and I would say that let's just see the passive perception of this. Okay. Are you trying to disguise yourself in this moment?
I mean, if there's a tiefling there, I probably would be a little bit chiller. My hood is still gonna be up, but I mean, I can't really disguise myself because I can only use that feat once per
Okay.
long rest.
His passive perception is 18. So he's
Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna immediately notice that
Thing
you
that
are.
anybody does.
Yeah, you are what you are, and he actually stops dead in his tracks, and he says, "Good evening, ma'am. Can I help you?"
Yes, I'm actually looking for a friend. He's tall, wears full plate armor. Have you seen a gentleman like that?
He looks to you with a bit of a I guess the look would be kind of concerning, because he maybe looks a little worried for you. And he says, "Why, yes, I do remember seeing such a gentleman heading into that building there."
Oh.
And he points over towards... you're not sure if he's pointing at one building in particular or just a cluster of buildings in the direction of exactly where Geld is staying. But he tries not to directly give the direction or even like the location of where they might be staying, because it seems the others that are with him, they are definitely of a human. One of them's human, and the other is half-elf. They're kind of... the human is definitely pretty broad for a soldier, and the half-elf is a little bit leaner, but he's got a bow, he's got arrows, he looks pretty capable. And he says, "Sure. Perhaps..." And he'll step forward towards you. And he's going to say, "Not here. Beach. 2 a.m. Be there."
What?
Says the beach, 2 a.m. Be there.
No, I know. This is me just being like, what is this about?
He's asking you out on a
Honestly,
date.
I would
I'm like, is he hitting on me? No, I know he's not hitting on me, but I'm like,
I would highly
what?
recommend taking that. Take the deal.
I mean, I'm definitely going to go at 2 a.m. now because I am just curious as all hell.
You
And
got people pulling in all different directions. But so this guy, he's a You know, for a tiefling, he's pretty rakish looking. He's got longer hair, a little slicked back. His horns are honed pretty nicely. His skin is sort of a ashen black color. And his armor is definitely a step above studded. It's gone into the medium section. And he has a great sword at his back. And it appears that he has some kind of special gauntlets. You can feel a bit of a sensation, like a magical arcane sense coming from his gauntlets.
Nice. Cool. I will just nod my head, kind of subtly, and be like, well, thank you so much for your assistance, sir.
And so he'll just kind of like one last time, he'll point in the general direction of where the others are staying.
Cool.
Sure, whatever you say, ma'am. Just that direction, I think. And he just winks at you.
Okay. I'm curious. I'm sure this is going to be something about tieflings, but like, or something about the bear, but like, I'm just like, this is curious.
And go ahead. Sorry.
I would just say I'd find Ishal and Sylvan and tell them kind of general direction where to go, and then once we get over there, I would probably. I mean, I guess we would just try and see if there's any inns or whatever in that area.
I can investigate again, because I could maybe look for like the full plate mail boot prints in the ground, because those are probably not far from this.
He's probably got giant feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who do you think
Someone
has
who
giant
a
feet?
freakishly small sheet. Well, feet. Oh, yeah.
Geld probably has giant feet, man.
Gil does giant
Yeah,
feet. Okay.
Geld
Yeah.
is 6'6".
He is.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? I'll take that. Sylvan, roll me investigation.
I hope I don't fuck it.
I
There
don't.
you go.
Well,
There you
can you maybe you can get the help?
I'll give you the help action.
All right. That's hang on. You know what? I'm gonna use my inspiration point because I never use these and I don't care about them that much. So I just happened to see it.
So roll again, Gamble
Yep.
Core.
Come
There
on.
we go. There we go.
Come on.
This is gonna be really epic or it's gonna be crappy. It's crappy. God damn.
Ooh.
All right.
Wow.
Whatever.
That's.
What a way to
Awful.
end that episode. Jesus.
So this is why I.
Wait. Can anyone roll it?
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
Do
I already gave the help action, so I can't.
Yeah.
I
that is
know,
okay.
I know.
Sorry.
No,
It's
it's fine.
cool.
I'll just.
I just feel bad for you. Oh my
Oh my
god.
What
Oh
is
my
this, a
God.
crappy roll?
At least it's
Well,
good.
now that we know there's
better.
buildings, can I try message again? Now that it's like to the buildings.
Oh my god. All right. Fine.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Got something hit. Otherwise, like, how are we gonna talk
He's
Well,
like
because
message.
It only works through the walls if you actually know the person well. And I know Geld well enough that it should work with him, but no one else. So I just kind of do it until, like, in that, like, towards the buildings.
You get a little feedback. It's like there it is. I'm just kidding. But oh my god. I mean, sure, finally the same message
Hell yeah!
comes through.
Ask me
Geld.
which building they're in.
Where Geld? Where Geld?
Geld, where are you?
Where Geld?
Outside.
We failed all our rolls, Geld.
And then you just get the message and just Geld found. Fuck yeah, Geld found.
Geld
believe-
pinged.
4 terrible rolls.
Go ping.
Setting GPS coordinates. Oh my god. I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, there's. through
You just pointed
through some kind of miracle of arcane direction and go ahead.
Wisdom, I got something funny. She pointed at the building that has the room for rent sign on it,
Okay.
and then it pings.
Right. It's like, oh shit. Sure, that makes sense.
Girls, I
assumed there
can't
wouldn't be any
find you.
No, I'll say that we will all converge once more. And we'll say that as you walk inside, Gorka is a little surprised that additional individuals have joined the group. But nonetheless, I mean, 3 gold is 3 gold. And I think we will kind of call it there.
I'm just gonna type beach 2 a.m. to remind myself.
Beach
Yes.
doing
But
yeah.
we need to.
Date.
I'm sure
2
Craig will
a.m..
get it too. Craig will probably most.
Yeah.
Gregory, make sure you get the fact that Liliana is
Gregory,
going out on a
did the beat
date.
go
at
off?
2
She's
a.m..
going on a date, guys. Not by herself. She's gonna bring somebody at least.
Yep.
A wing
right.
a wing person.
Sylvan's gonna follow me in the shadows. It'll be great.
I don't know. It feels
I
like
will
more like a
definitely
chaperoning.
I
Make
can
sure I'm not
definitely
gonna
make
get
sure-
murdered.
No, I'll definitely make sure that does not happen.
It's like, like in modern days when girls take pictures of guys' license plates and sends it to their friends when they go on a date. It's like that.
That's the fact that we have to do that is frightening enough.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Love
I
being a girl.
apologize. Yeah, I wish I could apologize on behalf of really anybody that does that, but I don't want to apologize for horrible people because they are themselves.
Yep. Nah, it's
Yep.
cool. I got lucky with Chris. He didn't end up murdering me when he took me to his house.
Yeah, he's got like all the money and shit, and he's got
Actually, what got me was he had a dog. And I was away from my dogs for the summer. And I was like, I miss dogs. And he was like, I have a dog at home. And I was like, really? Hopped right in that car and went with him.
Wow, that was it, huh? He could have he could have been a serial killer.
I mean, we were working at the same camp. We were working at the same summer camp.
That worked.
I was staying on the camp. He was living off the camp. Like he was with his parents at the time. And everybody knew him because he'd been working there since he was 15. So it was pretty safe. And also, I thought he was not interested in me. I thought he was gay. And then we were friends for a few months. And then finally he was like, hey, I really like you. And I was like, oh, you're straight. And we started dating.
Well, Tree Man is an enigma.
Which, if you ask all of his friends who have been his friends since he was childhood, everybody thought up until college that he was lying about his sexuality. So it wasn't just me.
Oh, poor guy.
Well, when the gays finally come out as straight, like, oh.
Poor
All right,
dude.
guys, I'm heading off. Have a good night.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I am also
Well-
ending things here. Thanks for joining,
So-
everyone. Let's.
So you said that the tiefling guy, I want to clarify, he's the mayor's soldier?
One of the mayor's, yes, higher echelon soldiers. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's more like a general sort of thing.
I'm kind of wondering, like, I'm curious on what it's going to be. And, like, why all of a sudden, just without saying it, he was just like, here, this and that. I'm wondering if it's just that he's going to be warning us, kind of like the other guy did about, like, tiefling should not be here, you should go. But then, like, why wouldn't you just say that? Why would you say beach 2 a.m.?
Well,
I feel like he has some dirt. I genuinely feel like he has.
I want
has
the
dirt.
gossip.
Agreed.
I want the gossip. I am so interested in this. I'm intrigued.
Well, he's gonna give it to you, and not in the metaphorical sense. I'm just kidding.
No.
I
right.
apologize for that little quip. That was
No, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Not
it's
the
him,
first time
not-
one of your NPCs have hit on me. I'm looking at you, Fire Ganassi.
Hey, he just listen. he needs to cool it off a little bit.
With my water genasi.
Yeah, he needs to quench his
That would have
fire.
been a
his
very
flame.
toxic relationship if you think about it. Like how, like you wouldn't even be able to like touch.
Maybe that's the excitement. Like you don't know.
No, you forgot. That's how steam is made.
That is true.
Very true.
Gaseous.
I'm gonna.
Also, isn't that in the plane too? Between them, steam.
Oh my god.
Are there steam genasi's? I guess they'd be air.
It would technically be air, but hot air ganassis, whatever they are.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I'll see everyone next week.
Yep.